If you're interested in using USDA loan to buy a home in Texas, you've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Thomas Ross, and I'm a top producing loan officer here in Texas, helping families every single day achieve the American dream of homeownership. In this video, we're going to discuss everything that you need to know as a home buyer about using a USDA loan, from the areas that qualify to the credit and eligibility requirements. So to start off, what is a USDA loan? A USDA loan is not just for farmers. It's for home buyers, and it's a mortgage loan backed by the federal government, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This federal backing allows us as mortgage lenders to provide you with a loan that requires a 0% down payment and has highly competitive interest rates. There are, however, some catches for eligibility. The main thing is that not every single home qualifies for a USDA loan. It has to be defined by the USDA as a rural area. And they have a cool interactive map on their website that allows you to figure out whether an area qualifies or not. Let's take a quick look on some areas that qualify near Dallas-Fort Worth. So the absolute best place to go for checking eligibility of a specific property or area for a USDA loan is actually just to head to Google first. You want to type in USDA loan home eligibility map, the second one right here. And when we go here, accept the cookies. What we actually want to do, you see if this says previous eligibility areas. Why it defaults to that, I'm not sure, but you want to click property eligibility. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in with my scroll button on my mouse to North Texas. And you can see some areas are highlighted this yellow color and some are not highlighted at all. Anything that's highlighted yellow on this map does not qualify for a USDA loan. But anything that is not highlighted is an eligible area for a USDA loan. So one thing I want to note here, you have to be very careful about this yellow populating precisely. If I'm really far out, it sometimes lags a little bit and you might think that an area qualifies when it truly doesn't. So it's really important if you're looking at a specific area to zoom in quite far to see what does and doesn't qualify. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can go up to the top left here and type in a specific address if you're curious whether a specific home qualifies. So let's take a quick look at some areas that qualify that are actually fairly suburban, more so than what you might think that would qualify. So start down here in the southeast. We've got Red Oak and Ferris. Ferris got a lot of new build homes that are available there, and very good commute to downtown Dallas there for work as well. Super easy. Great spots with more affordable homes as well. Kaufman, another great town. It's definitely growing a lot there. So get in early with a 0% down could potentially be a good option for people. Surprisingly, Heath right here does qualify for USDA loans. The hard part you're going to qualify for there is whether the loan limit is high enough for the home prices in Heath. That being said, the county limit in Rockwall is I think 459,000, so you might be able to find some options that would work. Roy City as well, another popular option. Lavana, Nevada, good school district up here in Community ISD. If we go to the north side of the Metroplex, we've got Anna, Salina, and Aubrey, all very popular locations. Salina especially for new builds right now. Moving to the northwest, Justin, and if I zoom in here, even Argyle does qualify. Now you have to be a little bit careful on the north and south sides, but some areas of Argyle are going to qualify. Again, a very, very desirable school district right here. Go to the west side of the Metroplex, Aledo, some areas. Willow Park, and again, Willow Park's one of those places where you have to be careful. You got to zoom in, right? Because this north side of this little lake here is going to work, but the south and west sides are not. So you want to be property specific there. And if I go to the southwest, Godley, Joshua, some other common areas that I've done some loans in the past. Now that we've seen the areas that are eligible, let me know with a comment down below. Were you surprised how close they were to the city? USDA loans do have a maximum loan limit, and that changes depending on the county that the home is in. Here in DFW, they range anywhere from $419,300 all the way up to $450,800, depending on the county that you're buying in. So those are the eligibility requirements for the home itself. But what about you as a home buyer? Well, first and foremost, your credit score needs to be a 640 or above to to qualify for a USDA loan. Remember, when we're talking about mortgages, your credit score that we use are your FICOs 2, 4, and 5. And then we take the middle of those 3 numbers. So it may not match what's on the app on your phone. Number 2, there are income limits to using USDA loans. They depend on your household size. The most common income limit in the DFW area is about $126,000 per year. This income is based on your pre-tax income and includes all earning family members that will be living in the home. And finally, your debt to income ratio on a USDA loan is lower than other loans. Your front end ratio, in other words, the new housing expense divided by your gross monthly income, needs to be 29% or less in order to get automatic approval. Your back end ratio, that's your new housing expense plus all of the other debts in your name, needs to be 41% of your gross income or less. Now let's talk about the big draw of USDA loans. It is 0% down payment required. But just because it's a 0% down payment doesn't mean that you might not have to come to the closing table with some cash of your own. There are still closing costs and prepaid expenses like your home insurance and some property taxes that are included with a USDA loan. There are, however, some tricks to get these covered to where you can truly come with $0. The best trick is to ask the sellers to pay for these expenses. Now, this isn't always going to be possible, especially if you're competing with other buyers for a house. But if you have leverage in the negotiation, you can request up to 6% of that home's purchase price in seller credits back to you. Now, 6% is usually overkill, but take what you can get. The other option is to use local down payment assistance programs to cover these closing costs. Now, these usually have higher interest rates than what you would get if you didn't use down payment assistance. So this should only be a last resort. One other thing about USDA loans before we end the video. They do not have mortgage insurance. However, they do have what's called a guarantee fee that works much the same way. The guarantee fee on a USDA loan is much lower than the mortgage insurance that you would usually pay on an FHA loan or a conventional loan. If you've made it this far, congrats, you are a home buying expert for using USDA loans. You've learned about areas that are eligible around DFW, as well as the loan limits and income limits required for this program. If you're interested in using the USDA loan for your own home purchase, click the link in the description to schedule a free one-on-one consultation with me where we discuss your home loan possibilities.